Welcome to Potpourri, everyone. I'm your host, Brandon Berry, and today we have a special guest, Mr. Marshall Taggart. How are you today?
I'm doing pretty good. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
That's good. Thanks for having me.
All right, and you are the newly elected, is it?
That is correct.
All right, president of the Clark Atlanta University Alumni Association.
Right.
And how's that been going thus far?
It's going really well. Clark Atlanta University National Alumni Association, we have roughly over closely 11,000 plus members, which encompasses all of the alumni across the country and really worldwide. So it's going really well. We started July 1st, our new administration.
Okay.
And our theme for our administration is moving forward, making a difference together.
Oh, that's
Very
great.
simple.
And you're also an alumni of Clark Atlanta as well.
That is correct.
All right, and you graduated twice, I believe, in 1992 and 1997
Yeah,
as
absolutely
an
correct.
undergraduate and a graduate.
Right.
What were your degrees in?
In 1992, I actually was part of the first entering class. My wife and I both entered Clark Atlanta. Of course, she wasn't my wife at that time. We were both attended classes together and matriculated for 4 years from 1988 to 1992. We both majored in accounting from the B School at Clark Atlanta University. And then I, in turn, went out and got some actual experience for 2 years in Orlando, Florida, and then came back to matriculate in 1994 with a master's in public administration. Okay. I did a dual concentration for urban administration and public finance management. And so in 1997, received my education. It was probably some of the best, or definitely the best time for my life in terms of getting my education, meeting lifelong friends, and definitely establishing a bond with Clark Atlanta University.
Well, that sounds great. So as a double major of Clark Atlanta University, how did your experiences and passion as a student, let's say, help you in gaining the position of becoming the new president for the Alumni Association?
Right. Well, it's not something that you really prepare for. The passion has to be there based on the experiences. And I would say that I received some great experiences by interacting with some excellent faculty here at the university, some excellent staff, some people that really guided me. I look at going to, particularly to an HBCU and attending the Clark Atlanta University, kind of like baking a cake. You get the foundation, you get the eggs, the yeast, all of the milk, the necessary products to really develop kind of the foundation, the marble, the layers. Right. And then in turn, from there, I felt like I needed to do a kind of a capstone and look at my education and look at how can I put frosting on that cake. Right. So that's why I decided to come back and matriculate at Clark Atlanta and kind of put that frosting and put that extra niche. That's really has helped me and propelled me in my career.
Okay, and as the president, tell us some of your duties or responsibilities that you may have.
Right. Well, with the question that you asked before, I in turn went in and worked and have always volunteered to try to give back. And from there, I've had some different offices and held some different positions and was given the opportunity to kind of really volunteer in 1992. And I've served as vice president of the Alumni Association. I've served as a chapter president for both the Chicagoland area chapter and the Atlanta chapter, financial secretary for the Orlando chapter. So that uniquely prepared me with the leadership skills to really look at how we can move our association forward. So I decided and made a decision after my return from working in a position in Tallahassee, Florida, that once I came back to Atlanta and discussing it with my family and also my close friends and classmates, that the time was now to go ahead and run for the position and really try to make a difference in focusing on some very key areas that we think that the alumni, in particular our institution, that we need.
Absolutely, and what are some of those plans that you would like to see institutionalized being in that position?
Right, glad you asked that. One of the things is to really grow our membership. As I mentioned initially, we have roughly about 11,000 to 13,000 alums around the world, and we only have roughly about a kind of a percentage point of members who are actually financial active in the association. When people hear alma mater, people don't really understand what that means. Alma mater is Latin, it means dear mother. So you in turn are making your investment in someone who made their investment in you.
Absolutely.
So really truly trying to establish the value proposition associated with why you should become an alumni, why it's important, and making sure that people understand that we have an obligation to kind of give back. We stand on the shoulders of giants with people who have really told with our forefathers, even before when we talk about slavery, people that in turn have really instilled a value system in us to move forward. And I think through matriculating here at the institution, one of the things that we need to do is to raise our membership.
Absolutely.
The second thing that the Alumni Association is focusing on is really trying to deal with a quality fundraising aspect, which is why the Tom Joyner Foundation is very, very key in terms of the relationship that we have with them and being the school of the month for the month of August.
Yes.
Students need to have an opportunity to go to college. And one of the ways that they do that, they have the drive and the zest and the zeal to get into college, but you have to really have funds
Yes.
to be able to pay for it.
Yes.
I kind of look at it like you got to have the coal, you know, to place in the engine
Yeah.
for it to run. And without the coal in the engine, you cannot matriculate at an institution and ultimately receive your goal, which is your degree.
Okay, and I want you to go a little bit more in depth
Sure.
for our viewers as to why it is important as an alumni to support and engage in their institution, because I don't think a lot of people who graduate, especially particularly from HBCUs, they don't really understand why it's important and why institutions like HBCUs don't thrive as much as they should. Because they don't receive as much support. And that's something with you being the president, and I think they should really hear from you, because you can hear from your peers and stuff all day long, but it may be some things that we even leave out, to tell our fellow alumni why you should be more engaged in support.
It makes sense, and that's a very good kind of segue to talk about kind of giving an opportunity for people to understand what would life be without HBCUs. What would you be, alumni, without Clark Atlanta University? I mean, really, if you really think about that, if this university did not exist, we would not have the number of PhDs, that pretty much are in their field. Yeah. We would not have individuals, as I look out into the audience today and I see the camera ladies that are here, we would not have black women in non-traditional fields really doing things. Because HBCUs produce pretty much the greater percentage of not only African Americans, but African American women.
Yes.
When you talk about individuals who are in school and of that gender. In addition, when you look at the whole aspect of if Clark Atlanta University didn't exist, you would not have a black middle class. You would not have the foundation. I mean, I look at it like CAU provided me with an opportunity not only to get my education, but it produced a black family. That's important. I underscored that not to get kudos, to tell everybody that I met my wife here at Clark Atlanta University, but I did meet her here.
Right.
And without this institution being here in the foundation, you would not see a lot of individuals really moving forward to do what's best. And that, when you talk about the church, when you talk about your institutions like your school, and you talk about family, those are the cornerstones and bedrocks that really in turn will move us forward. So that's why it's important to be a member of the Alumni Association.
Absolutely.
Because that network is very important.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's something that I even for my institution, I'm a part of both. I'm originally from Chicago, and I was a part of my alumni chapter there, and the first thing I did was, before I even moved, was make sure I got in touch with people of the Alumni Association here in Atlanta. So I make sure, even as I'm still fairly new graduate from my institution, but I made sure that I've gotten involved, and I've already given innovative ideas for them to start doing, especially to get our youth involved, because that's the thing. We'll graduate and we'll just say, that's my alma mater, but we won't go back, as alumni right away and start, giving back to our institution. So I know earlier you mentioned that Clark Atlanta was the Tom Joyner School of the Month for August. What are those? What is the program exactly, and what does that mean for Clark Atlanta? And describe some of the activities that will be taking place with Clark Atlanta being the School of the Month.
Well, the Tom Joyner Foundation is a very unique way. I think Tom Joyner, who's a graduate of Tuskegee University, and a lot of his family members who went to that institution, he saw the need associated with a lot of colleges and universities. They don't have qualified individuals to really move forward and push a campaign in terms of institutional advancement and fundraising for their institutions. Now, there are some institutions, HBCUs, that have advanced areas because they have the resources. But in terms of understanding the culture of African Americans, we tend to put a lot of value and faith in a lot of things that may not materialize and multiply over time. And I think Tom Joyner really recognized the fact that if we don't move forward and really try to preserve this whole aspect and culture of tradition of our HBCUs, there's going to be an issue. So with that being said, he moved forward to say, okay, we're going to highlight some great institutions. And one great institution is the Clark Atlanta University. He chose for us to be, along with his staff and his son who runs the program, Tom Joyner Jr., for Clark Atlanta University to be the school of the month for the month of August.
Okay.
So what does that mean for us? Well, it says that we have an opportunity to get radio coverage to articulate the need for people to give back to their institution. When you talk about the PLUS loan requirements changing, when you talk about Pell Grants diminishing, when you talk about there's a cap for freshmen, when you look at a tier process where you can only borrow so much, and then you can all of a sudden, once you get to your senior year, you can borrow a lot of money or more money than you can your freshman year. There's a limit on the number, so you're going to find an extremely big gap in terms of people being able to pay. Clark Atlanta University is a value-added institution, and it's a private institution. So it's not a state-run institution. So when you look at the need, a lot of students can't afford to pay for their total tuition package, which in this case is roughly, when you look at room and books, it's roughly about $16,000 a year. A semester, $32,000 a year. So you may have a gap anywhere from $2,000 to $10,000. Hence the Tom Joyner Foundation. That's what they do. They're looking for us to work and to really get out here to serve as a networking campaign, to use things in social media, to use the actual print media, to use the radio, in this case, to get out the word, to donate to the Tom Joyner Foundation to support Clark Atlanta University.
That's good to hear about, and I'm glad that that's something that Tom Joyner does, especially, I'm not exactly sure, is it just for HBCUs that he does it for?
He primarily focuses on HBCUs, and the unique thing about it is he allots the opportunity for alumni associations and individuals within the institutional advancement areas of those respective schools to have a specialized campaign. We have a campaign where we have 7 entrepreneurs who are located in 7 chapters. They have committed to giving at least anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000 towards this campaign. We have a goal to raise roughly about $10,000. And for instance, we have an individual, Kim Roxy, who's out in Houston. She's doing a campaign where she's providing the $1 Million Look through her cosmetics line that she has. When individuals go in and purchase from her, she's a CAU alumna. When they purchase from her, a certain percentage of those proceeds go back to Clark Atlanta University. The same thing in Houston with Rhonda Bellamy Hodge, in Dallas, Fort Worth. She in turn has a line of soaps, which she has at all the Whole Food locations. A certain 25% is going back when you donate to that cause, and that money is going to go back to within the pot to help students for scholarships. I think it's a win-win. And I think alums should really look at the fact about how you can give back. It's a very simple way. You go online to TomJoynerFoundation.com, click the link, donate. You can do it via PayPal, and you can also purchase the products and services from a CAU alum.
Well, listen, I'm glad to hear, we have more information about Clark Atlanta University and the president, the new president for the Alumni Association.
And it's the national president.
The national president, yes.
Thank you.
National new president, yes.
Good looking out.
I wish we had more time to definitely get more information, because I'm sure it's a lot more that we can always tell our viewers. But I'm so grateful that you were able to come out here to inform us on what you did. And I really do appreciate that.
Again, TomJoynerFoundation.com for everybody out there in your listening audience. Please go and help us out and support Clark Atlanta.
All right. We'll be back right after these messages.
Mom, can we get some ice cream? Please, Mom, please.
No, we're having dinner soon.
Please.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of children in foster care who will take you just as you are.
Crack don't allow secret found their way out of
Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. Go to discovertheforest.org.
Matchsticks, matchbox, matching tie to matching socks. You don't know why, but you're really special to match point, match game. You and I are not the same, but I can tell that you're really special to me. There is something I can give to make you laugh, to help you live. We're the perfect match, and you're really special to me. We're the perfect match, and you're really special to me.
Packers.
Vikings.
Packers.
Vikings. Vikings.
Red state, blue state, vegan.
Carnivore.
We come from different places.
Uptown.
Downtown.
Optimist.
We come to different conclusions.
Half empty.
Half full.
But when we live united, we create real, lasting change in the building blocks of life. The education, income, and health of our communities,
Live.
our families,
United.
even the person next to us.
Live united.
Real change won't happen without you. So give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Sign up at liveunited.org.
Up to 40% of businesses never recover after experiencing a major disaster. Make a plan at ready.gov/business.
Welcome back to Potpourri. I'm your host, Brandon Berry, and today we have another special guest with us today. It's Ralphael Lester. He is the Media and Public Relations Chair for Homecoming this year. How are you today?
I'm well, and you?
I'm doing pretty good, you know. It's a good day, nice and sunny out. It's hot still.
Yeah.
Good at Atlanta. So tell me a little bit about yourself. What you're a tenure here at Clark Atlanta University.
Well, I'm not a traditional student.
Okay.
Pretty much my background goes all the way back to the Navy. When I graduated high school, I went to the Navy, served, and then medically retired from the service, and then eventually decided I wanted to go to school. So came to Clark Atlanta, pursued mass media arts with a focus in radio, TV, film. Yeah.
What year are you at?
This is my sophomore year.
Okay. All right. So as it relates to Homecoming, what are some of the different events and things that you guys have planned that you can tell us about?
Well, I can tell you that we have a concert. We have a lot of things scheduled, but we can't necessarily go into depth about everything just yet. So I can't necessarily disclose all that just yet.
So you don't have like any small events, like whether it's just a tailgate for the football game or something?
Yeah,
like that?
we have our traditional tailgate. We have our traditional step shows, concert, and yeah.
Okay. What are some of the things that partake like as or that you're responsible for as the public relations chair for Homecoming?
Well, I'm not actually the chair, but I am the representative for media and public relations, and I'll pretty much be representing the talent that's coming to CAU for this year's Homecoming.
Okay, and what is some of the legwork is
I mean, over the summer we've been working with pretty much different artists and their bookings, and also we've been working with the school as well, the Alumni Association, to make sure that we properly get the word out this year so we'll have a nice turnout. And yeah, so it's pretty much just been promotion. And then over the summer, since everybody wasn't in town, we've been holding countless phone conversations and conferences.
How long is you guys' Homecoming typically? Like?
It's a week long.
It's a week long?
It's actually the last week of October this year. So.
Okay, so like the 30th until?
The game is on the 1st, which is that Saturday, but we start that Sunday.
Who do you guys play
Sunday. I actually haven't looked at the schedule, so I'm not necessarily 100% sure, but hopefully we pull it off this year.
Okay, and I know you say you can't talk too much about the different artists or anything like that are coming. Okay, so as it relates to this year's Homecoming, what are some of the things that are different that will be going on that you can't talk about that are different from last year's Homecoming?
Well, I mean, just pretty much the SGA, all that stuff is different. So everybody has different concepts, different ideas. The coordination is going to be great this year. Just the theme itself, everything is going to be a lot different.
Okay. And this is your first time in leadership here at Clark Atlanta?
This isn't my first time in leadership. I'm still currently the Mr. CAU Suites.
Okay.
But this is my first time on Homecoming Committee.
Okay, and how were you exactly appointed to getting in that position?
Well, being in media, I've worked with Newsbreak 23 here at CAU TV. I'm also featured on The Game, Season 7.
Okay.
And I've also worked with Tyler Perry Studios on plenty of his projects. So based on my background in that and in my integrity, they felt suit that media PR fits me for this homecoming.
Absolutely. So did you have to run against anyone at all? Was there an application process?
It was an application process, and there was pretty much a lot of candidates on there, but a lot of them were like talent struck or starstruck. So it was more of, I've been in the game for a while, so it's like, it's just work.
So with the application process, did you have to do any campaigning or anything like that? Or when
no,
did you actually find out that you were appointed?
It wasn't an election process. I didn't have to campaign. It was more of after the application process, you go into your interviews and you have series of questions. And then from there, pretty much it's a waiting period, and then you'll get your call back.
When did you find out that you were?
I found out in the middle of June.
Okay, so you were at home when all of this was taking
Yes.
place. And what did you do over the summer as far as planning for homecoming?
Well, actually over the summer I've been working on my documentary of pretty much my life story, but in the process of, or in conjunction with that, it was more of from what I'm doing, and then go to a phone conference, and then back at it. So it was just like constantly work around the clock.
Did you have any thing like as far as budgets that you could work with?
They just disclosed budgets with us, so we just found out budgets. But right now we're working swiftly to get everything taken care of so that this year's homecoming is bigger than pretty much ever.
What are some of the ideas that you would like to, that you haven't necessarily gotten verified can happen for homecoming?
I would like to see everyone involved. I mean, last year we had a nice turnout due to that it was all three HBCUs celebrating it. Morehouse, Clark, and Spelman. So it was a nice turnout, but you don't necessarily know how many from each school came. But this year, due to that it's ours solely, I would like everybody to get involved, everybody to be engaged in whatever we have going on.
What about activities that you would like to happen?
Activities, I would like to see like powder puff football games, kickball games, maybe inflatables, just pretty much making everybody enjoy homecoming as a whole.
Yeah, no, I know some of the things that we did at my institution. We had different, outside of the tailgating that involved just not the alumni, but the students as well. We did like carnival days, and of course we had a lot of vendors that would come out and things like that. So, you know, I'm just really interested to see what you all have that it would be similar to what we had at my school for homecoming. And you did say, so when is everyone else's homecoming? I know it's not, you may not necessarily know that, but since last year everyone was together. I
think Morehouse is a week before us and Spelman's a week after us.
Okay, yeah. And what were the build-up points to that? How was that something that the three schools decided that you all wanted to do, was to have one big homecoming together?
I wasn't actually on that committee, but I'm assuming that's what they came to. It was our 25th year anniversary, so of course we wanted to do it big, so we were trying to hold it down for the AUC.
I understand that. Yeah, I came out last year and I participated in some things like that. I have a cousin who actually attends Clark Atlanta University, and this is her senior year, so you know, she invited me down, and I definitely was able to come down. And this year I'm looking forward to coming down to you guys'. I went to HBCU as well, so I love my HBCU. You know, it's not my HBCU, the best HBCU, but you know, so you know, I'll be looking forward to a lot of different activities. I'm sure when will the list, as far as, you know, when the homecoming activity list or schedule will be going up for?
We will be starting to put everything out like mid-September. So mid-September you'll start seeing everything, and then pretty much people can purchase their tickets and whatnot. And since I'm the media PR this year, pretty much all the media outlets will be reaching out to me to get media coverage of this event. Okay,
and how are the tickets and things like that handled? I know particularly at my school, we did like packages sometimes where you can purchase all of the events in one package for a certain amount, or you can you know, you can purchase them separately, or how does that work? It's actually going to be the same concept. We're going to give, there's a limited amount of packages we're going to be selling, and from there, it's more of if anybody comes after that date, you just buy them singly. Okay. And you say, I know it's a step show and all that. How much does that stuff typically cost? Typically around a college budget for students, like roughly $10. Okay. So it's not gonna dig too deep. Okay. Well, we thank you so much for coming out today and informing us on a lot of the homecoming activities that you all will, or your involvement with the homecoming committee. So thank you again for coming out and informing us about your involvement with homecoming committee, and we'll see you next time, okay?
All right.
Thank you for tuning in to Potpourri. Again, I'm your host, Brandon Berry, and we'll see you next week.
Matchsticks, matchbox, matching tie to matching socks. You don't know why, but you're really special to match point, match game. You and I are not the same, but I can tell that you're really special to me. There is something I can give to make you laugh, to help you live. We're the perfect match, and you're really special to me. We're the perfect match, and you're really special to me.
We got the spirit, we're hot, we can't be stopped. We got the spirit, we're hot, we can't be stopped. We're gonna beat them and bust them.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
Let's get a little bit rowdy, R-O-W-D-Y.
Take time to be a dad today. Call or visit fatherhood.gov to learn more.
Mom, can we get some ice cream? Please, Mom, please.
No, we're having dinner soon.
Please.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of children in foster care who will take you just as you are.
Crack, don't allow our secret found their way out
Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. Go to discovertheforest.org.
Packers, Viking, Packers, Viking, Viking.
Red state, blue state, vegan.
Carnivore.
We come from different places.
Uptown.
Downtown.
Optimist.
We come to different conclusions.
Half empty.
Half full.
But when we live united, we create real, lasting change in the building blocks of life. The education, income, and health of our communities, our families, even the person next to us.
Live united.
Real change won't happen without you. So give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Sign up at liveunited.org.